Numerous games undergo early access because it helps them recover, advance, and progress. Early access has the most economic aspect as it guarantees creators and developers to obtain funds and bring out one of the most exceptional and remarkable games. Welcome to Binge TV, and here are the top 10 games that are still in early access. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and to turn on notifications for more videos like this one. 10th place, Baldurs Gate 3. Baldurs Gate 3 is a role-playing video game that is being developed and published by Larian Studios. It is the third main game in the Baldurs Gate series. A version of the game was released in early access format for Microsoft Windows, the Stadia streaming service, and macOS on October 6, 2020. The game will remain in early access for at least 2021 before the completed version is released. Baldurs Gate 3 is a role-playing video game that offers both a single-player and a multiplayer mode. Players can create one or more characters and form a party along with computer-generated characters to explore the game's story. Unlike previous games in the Baldurs Gate series, Baldurs Gate 3 has turn-based combat. 9th place, Darkest Dungeon. Darkest Dungeon is a video game developed by Red Hook Studios and published by Merge Games. The game was first released for Microsoft Windows and OS X in January of 2016, which followed a year-long early access development period. Later, it was released for PlayStation 4, PlayStation Vita, and Linux, with a port for iOS being released in 2017, and ports for Nintendo Switch and Xbox One being released by 2018. The player manages a roster of heroes to explore the dungeons beneath a gothic mansion that the player has inherited. The core feature of Darkest Dungeon is the stress level of each hero that increases with further exploration and combat. Anyone sustaining a high stress level may gain difficulties that will hamper or possibly help them improve their performance as an explorer. A sequel was announced in February 2019. A board game adaptation is currently in development. 8th place, Slay the Spire. Slay the Spire is developed by Mega Crit and published by Humble Bundle. The game was first released in early access for Microsoft Windows, macOS, and Linux in late 2017, with an official release in January 2019. It was released for PlayStation 4 in May 2019, for Nintendo Switch in June 2019, and for Xbox One in August 2019. An iOS version was released in June 2020, with an Android version released in February of 2021. In this game, the player attempts to climb multiple floors by battling through enemies and bosses. Combat takes place through a collectible card-based system, with the player gaining new cards as rewards from combat, and it requires the player to use strategies of deck-building games to construct an effective deck to complete the climb. 7th place, Dead Cells. Dead Cells is developed and published by Motion Twin. The game was a year in early access and was released for Linux, macOS, Microsoft Windows, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One in August 2018. A mobile port for iOS was released in August 2019, and an Android port was released on June 3, 2020. The player takes the role of a shapeless and jelly-like creature that takes control of a corpse in a dungeon, through which they must fight their way out. Through exploration, the player gains weapons, treasure, and other tools. The player gains cells that can be used to purchase upgrades or unlock items. Dead Cells uses a system causing the player to lose all cells and all other currencies and items upon each instance of death. 6th place, Ark Survival Evolved. Ark Survival Evolved is a video game developed by Studio Wildcard. Ark was released in August 2017 for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Microsoft Windows, OS X, and Linux, with versions for Android, iOS, and Nintendo Switch in 2018. A new version for Stadia is scheduled for release in early 2021. Several expansions to the game have been released as downloadable content. Players must survive being stranded on an island filled with roaming dinosaurs and other prehistoric animals, natural hazards, and potentially hostile human players. It's an open-world game navigated on foot or by riding an animal. Players can use firearms and improvised weapons to defend themselves. The game has both single-player and multiplayer options. Members can also share dinosaurs and building structures. 5th place, Kerbal Space Program. Kerbal Space Program is developed by Squad and published by Private Division for Microsoft Windows, macOS, Linux, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. The first version was released digitally on Squad Kerbal Space Program storefront in 2011 and joined the Early Access program in 2013. The game was released out of beta in 2015. People and agencies in the space industry have taken an interest in the game, including NASA and the European Space Agency, and Peter Beck, CEO and CTO of Rocket Lab. In May 2017, Squad announced that the game was purchased by video game company Take-Two Interactive. An enhanced edition was released on the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 in 2018 and set to be released in 2021 for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series XS by Private Division, a publishing subsidiary of Take-Two Interactive. In the game, players direct a nascent space program staffed and crewed by green humanoid aliens known as kerbals. The game features a realistic orbital physics engine, allowing for various real-life orbital maneuvers. 4th place, Phasmophobia. Phasmophobia is a horror game developed and published by Kinetic Games. The game became available in early access through Steam for Microsoft Windows in September 2020, along with virtual reality support. The game received a large influx of popularity the following month due to many well-known Twitch streamers and YouTubers playing it, mainly for the Halloween season. The player takes control of one member from a group of up to 4 players in the roles of ghost investigators, who are contracted to deal with ghosts inhabiting different abandoned facilities such as homes, schools, prisons, and asylums. The players must collect various types of evidence to determine the type of ghost they are dealing with. The end goal of the game is not to defeat the ghosts, but to determine the type of ghost, as well as to complete optional objectives, all while staying alive. 3rd place, Proteus. Proteus is a first-person shooter video game developed by American studio Bounding Box Software and published by Humble Games. An early access version was released in 2020, along with a full release plan for 8 to 12 months after release. The player must explore complex levels by searching for keys to proceed to the next level. Players can use a variety of weapons to keep their enemies busy. To help the player find their way, and to aid in discovering secrets, the game features an auto map and presents dynamic lighting, particle effects, interactive levels, a gore system, dynamic soundtrack, and the players get to apply shaders to give the game a pixelated look. 2nd place, Satisfactory. Satisfactory was made available for early access on March 2019 on the Epic Games Store and in June 2020 on Steam, with cross-platform multiplayer. It is a 3D first-person open-world exploration and factory-building game. The player is dropped onto an alien planet with a handful of tools and must harvest the planet's natural resources to construct increasingly complex factories for automating all resource needs. The initial goal is to build a space elevator and begin supplying the company the player works for, Fix-It Inc., with increasingly numerous and complex components for their unknown purposes. 1st place, Totally Accurate Battle Simulator. Totally Accurate Battle Simulator is a battle simulation fighting video game developed by Landfall Games. It is a parody of the battle simulator genre and was released in early access on Steam April 2019 for Microsoft Windows and Mac OS, and in December 2019 for Xbox One, and has since received numerous free title updates that added new content, such as maps and units, in addition to fixing bugs and improving the performance. The full version of the game was released on April 1st, 2021. The game allows players to take command of huge armies composed of various types of units. The game contains not only warriors, but also animals, artillery, and zombies. The squad depends on the player's imagination and a limited amount of gold to buy troops with. After selecting the soldiers and deciding on the appropriate tactics, the great battle begins. So, what are your thoughts on all these video games? Let us know in the comments below. Also, make sure to leave us a like, share this video with your friends, and also subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time for more.